So there's a possibility of Americans getting up to $5,000 from DOGE savings. And Miss Reparations herself, Jasmine Crockett, doesn't like it. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the possibility of Americans getting up to $5,000 in their check from the federales from DOGE savings. As you guys know, we've been cutting a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government to the tune of billions upon billions upon billions of dollars. Now, I don't know what the final tally is going to be, but I've read things. They said 30 billion, 70 billion. It could be as much as $100 billion in savings that we've cut on a yearly basis from DOGE savings. Now, I've read a few different things about this, and I think as of right now, it's just rumors with nothing solid. Okay, so I wouldn't count on this. I wouldn't wait for 5 bands, as the cool kids say, to hit your checking account. However, there are news stories. There are news articles talking about this. Now, here we are on Forbes. Elon Musk mulls sending all Americans $5,000 checks using DOGE savings. Now, I did a little bit of math. Let's say there's 325 million Americans. I know there could be more, could be less. Let's just say for math's sake, 325 million Americans. If each American man, woman, child gets $5,000, you're talking about $1.6 trillion. That's not going to happen, in my humble opinion. That's a little bit too much. $1.6 trillion with a T, not million, not billion, but 1.6 trillion. That's a lot. Even if you cut it in half to say 175 million Americans, you're still talking about $800 billion. That's a lot of money. Okay. Now, again, these are just rumors, but you have news sites reporting on it. Okay, here's Forbes, and then here is CNBC. This is a different narrative. Now, this says Trump says he's weighing giving 20% of DOGE savings to Americans. Now, if I did the math again, if the DOGE savings are, let's say, 100 billion, 20% of that is 20 billion. So $20 billion to 325 million Americans is about $50. Maybe $100. I don't think that'll happen because the 5,000 number is already out there in the wild. So if the rumored number is 5,000 and then we give $50, okay, where is the rest of the money at? Even if it was $500, where's my other 4,500? That'd be the narrative. So I don't really see this happening, not in the way that it's been shown in the news. It could, but I doubt it, and I wouldn't count on it. Now, Jasmine Crockett, the Democratic House rep from Texas, I believe the Houston area, she does not like any of this too much, although she does support reparations for Black Americans, okay? So she's saying we're not in the business of giving money out, but you do want to give money out to certain races. So, okay, I'm just saying, just for a little bit of context, there's a little bit of hypocrisy going on, but let's just play this. I will link to this video and the articles in the box. If you're on IG, Facebook, visit a link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Campaigned with Trump, telling voters that he would cut government spending and reduce the deficit. Now they're conducting mass layoffs, and DOGE's website claims it has saved an estimated $55 billion through fraud detection as well. So isn't this what the American people voted for?
Oh, absolutely not. Listen, when he was campaigning with Donald Trump, he was going around and jumping around on a stage. Now, I think that no matter if you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, you want to know that we are being as efficient as possible with your tax dollars. And so I think that all American people are on board for this. This is why
So did we vote for it or did we not vote for it? If we're on board with what he's doing as far as cutting the waste, fraud, and abuse, and then they were campaigning on that, they were talking about that DOGE was an idea before the actual election happened. How can you say we didn't vote for it? I don't understand, but I digress.
The Oversight Committee has always existed within the Congress. It is because we are supposed to be the watchdogs over the money. But this idea that if we get rid of USAID, that is going to fix our money woes is another farce. USAID takes up less than 1% of our entire budget. It doesn't
matter how much of the budget it takes up. If it's money that we're spending that we don't have to spend, why spend it? It doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's only, $100 billion. It's no big deal. It's only a small percentage of our budget. That's so silly.
Want to talk about the other 99%, or they're going out and they're saying that Medicaid, Medicare, that those things shouldn't exist. Now, the chairman of the budget committee says that they're going after Social Security next. Listen, I don't think that the American people signed up for a government that would say, we know that you have worked so hard for all these years and paid into a system, and now we're just going to say, oh, well, we don't have the money for you, so that the likes of Elon Musk or Bezos or Zuckerberg or all the billionaires that showed up to be there with him when he swore in, so that they could just save more money, and we end up carrying the load. We being the working people of America, we being.
When you say they are trying to save more money, who do you mean? Do you think that Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk are trying to save money from their own personal pocket? They're rich beyond belief. I think we, the people, are trying to save money because, let's be clear, Ms. Crockett, USAID is taxpayer monies. Taxpayer monies. All right. It's not Jeff Bezos. It's the United States citizen. It's our money. We're trying to save our money. So I don't see why that'll be a problem, but I digress.
The people that are struggling paycheck to paycheck. We know that right now they literally just proposed legislation to get rid of what the Biden-Harris administration did around limiting those $5 or making sure that those that end up with overdraft fees don't exceed $5. They wanted to go back to $35 or however much people were charging. They're not doing anything to help the American people. Right now, our food costs are up because they've decided that they want to go after immigrants. They've decided that they don't want anyone.
So the food costs are up because we want to deport the illegal aliens who work for slave wages. Is that what you're saying? Are you a proponent of slavery? But at the same time, you want reparations. So you want reparations for slavery, but you're a proponent of modern day slavery as far as illegal alien labor. Okay, got it.
To keep watch over what's going on with the bird flu. Listen, right now we are headed towards a recession. And I can tell you that not one person that voted, no matter if they were a Democrat or a Republican, asked for that. So this is something that is going to be on the Trump administration. And I'm just bracing right now.
Now, President Trump says he likes the idea of giving some of the savings from DOGE back to Americans as kind of a dividend. Would you support that?
Listen, he's just telling a lie.
It's a yes or no question. You didn't answer the question. They do that a lot. They'll be asked a direct question. Hey, he wants to do X, Y, and Z. Do you support it? Well, Donald Trump this and Donald Trump that. Answer the question. Yay or nay?
He's not the one that had anything to do with the $1,200 refunds that people had during the midst of COVID. That was done by a Democratic House and Democratic Senate.
Wait, who was the president? Donald Trump was the president. I got the check. I still got my check and it says Trump's name on it. So when you say he had nothing to do with it, you're a liar. You're a liar. Just because he worked with government who may have been on the other side of the aisle does not mean he had nothing to do with it.
And right now, what they're going to do is say, hey, we want to give you a refund, but Congress won't let us because they already know that there's just no money for that. The only reason that those refunds came before was because we were living in different times. This was a time in which hopefully we won't ever go through again.
Well, truthfully, there was some money for it back then. We got a lot of debt from that. Now, if we're able to actually cut spending and then give a percentage of the cut spending to Americans, that makes sense versus just printing money and giving that out.
Again, we had a once in a lifetime pandemic. The bad part is that I don't know if it's once in a lifetime because we know that Ebola, unfortunately, was detected right here in New York here recently. And if we continue down this road of getting rid of scientists or deciding that we don't want to rely on experts as it relates to what they're telling us to do, or we don't want
the same experts that said wear a mask, stay in your house, don't leave for a year. The same experts that crashed the economy, the same experts like Anthony Fauci, who said, hey, don't wear a mask. It's not going to help you. Then he said, wear a mask. If you don't, you're going to kill your grandma. Those experts, the people, the American people have been able to discover that these experts aren't so expertly. And then when they get things wrong, they have zero accountability. Okay, so I think at a certain point, the American people understand kind of what's going on here, and they don't have to rely upon people like you or anyone else to tell them how to go about living their life.
to deal with vaccines and medicine in this country, then we may be facing not only our next pandemic, but our next 2, 3, or 4 pandemics because of their incompetence. So no, we are not in the business of giving out money. And honestly, I don't know what $5,000 will do for you if you are unable to find a job, because I am telling people we are headed towards a recession because the United States government is the 15th largest employer in the world. And so firing those that work for the federal government isn't going to necessarily create new jobs in private industry. In fact, Southwest Airlines, based in my district, just announced for the very first time in its entire existence that they are doing a layoff of approximately 15% of their workforce. If you pay attention, the signs are there. And I'm not telling you to be an alarmist. I'm telling you because I want to be honest with the American people.
But here's the thing about it. Okay, you guys brought in 20 million illegal aliens. And what was the excuse? Americans don't want to work. Now you say it's not enough jobs. So which one is it? I don't understand. You brought in 20 million people and you say it's not enough jobs now. Maybe if you didn't bring in 20 million people, there wouldn't be this issue with the job shortage. It's just really strange to me how we're contracting jobs, but bringing in more people to do what?
My background, believe it or not, I was a business major, and none of this looks good for us right now.
All righty. So there's more to that, but I'll link to it in the box. So shout out to Jasmine Crockett and her nice little hairpiece right here. But as I close, I want to say this. I don't necessarily see the $5,000 coming anytime soon. It's just, it's not anything set in stone like, yeah, we're going to do this, is going to happen. It's just reports. It's talking. We're trying to figure out what's going on. Personally, I wouldn't have put out a number because the number's out there now. Now you got to either do that or don't. So it may or may not happen. I don't look forward to any kind of money. I just look forward to being able to keep more of my own money. I look forward to being able to have more freedom. I look forward to a reduction in crime and violence. I look forward to a better quality of life in this country and a better ability to make and keep more of my own money. That's all I want. Nothing more, nothing less. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your opinion about what Jasmine Crockett said? Is she a hypocrite talking about, $5,000? What is that going to do for you? All this and that. But at the same time, she support reparations for slavery. Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I think she's out of touch because that $5,000, if you were to get $5,000 right now, just off the books, no strings attached, that can definitely help a lot of people. A lot of Americans don't have $500 in their savings account, let alone $5,000. So that definitely can help. If you don't have a job, look, I tell people all the time, you got to get skills and make yourself indispensable. If you have a job in the federal government that can easily be cut and there's no real effect to it, then your job was not necessarily needed. It was just kind of a pretend job. And I feel for those who are losing their job and they got to find another way to live. But a lot of these people, especially in DC, they're highly skilled, educated. They'll be just fine. I'm not really going to sit here and cry tears for them. They'll be okay. But whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.